There are thousands of videos out there telling you what to put in a bug out bag or get home bag. This video isn't one of them. You can pack all the right gear: food, water, first aid, tools, and clothing, and you can still end up with a bag that fails when you actually need it most. In this video, we're going to look at 3 vital elements that can make or break your go bag. The first, and probably the most important, is mobility. When you're building your go bag, it's easy to focus on everything you might need. And individually, most of those items may not seem very heavy. But a few extra tools, a little extra food and water, one more change of clothes, that can quickly turn a practical go bag into something you can barely carry. That may not seem like a problem if your plan involves traveling by vehicle, but roads can become blocked, traffic can come to a standstill, or your vehicle could break down. At some point, you may be forced to continue on foot, and when that happens, every ounce you packed has to travel on your back. Your bag doesn't need to meet some sort of universal weight limit. What one person can comfortably carry may be completely unrealistic for someone else. Your age, your health, physical condition, the terrain, and the distance you may need to travel all matter. The real question is simply, can you carry your bag far enough to get you where you need to go? To answer that, look through everything you've packed and ask yourself, is this item truly essential? Or would it simply be nice to have? Does the benefit it provide justify its weight? Am I packing it because I genuinely need it, or simply because I have the room? Once you've decided that everything in the bag deserves to be there, put it on and actually travel with it. And I don't mean just walking around the block. Can you carry it for a mile? 5 miles? What about several hours? Or potentially an entire day? You won't know that by lifting it off the floor and wearing it around the house. The only way to find out is to test it under realistic conditions. I walk about 2 miles with my pack once or twice a month. And when I first started doing that, it didn't take long for me to reevaluate what was truly essential and what I could do without. You may discover that something you considered indispensable isn't worth carrying after the first mile. But total weight isn't the only issue. How the bag fits and how that weight is distributed can make a major difference over long distances. As a general rule, pack heavier items near the middle of the bag and closer to your back. Lighter, bulky items can go towards the bottom. And anything that you may need to get quickly should remain near the top or in an easy accessible pocket. This keeps the load closer to your center of gravity, it improves your balance, and reduces unnecessary strain on your back and shoulders. Make sure everything inside the bag is well secured. Loose items shifting as you walk can affect your balance and can become increasingly uncomfortable over time. Test your bag now, while you have the freedom to make those changes. Because the first time you discover that your bag is too heavy or simply too uncomfortable to carry shouldn't be during an actual emergency. The second element is your ability to blend in. This is often referred to as the gray man concept. The goal isn't to become invisible. It's simply to avoid standing out any more than necessary. When it comes to your go bag, that means choosing something that looks appropriate for the environment you may be traveling through. In an urban or suburban area, a large camouflage backpack covered in tactical webbing and patches may attract attention you don't want. It can also suggest that you're better prepared and carrying more supplies than the people around you. That doesn't mean camouflage or tactical bags are inherently bad. In some rural areas, they may look perfectly normal. The point is to consider your surroundings and ask whether your bag will blend in with what other people are likely to be carrying. Depending upon the environment, an ordinary-looking backpack may blend in better than a tactical-style bag. But even a fairly ordinary bag can become much more noticeable if it's heavily overpacked or has several items attached to the outside. So, keep your gear inside the bag. This gives other people fewer clues about what you're carrying. And it prevents equipment from catching on branches, fences, doorways, or anything else you may have to move past. But blending in isn't just about how your bag looks. It's also about how it sounds. Loose buckles, metal tools, zippers, or equipment hanging from outside your bag can make much more noise than you realize. On a busy street, That noise might disappear into the background, but in a quiet neighborhood, along a wooded trail, or during a power outage, when the usual background noise is gone, it may become far more noticeable. Pay attention to what's happening inside the bag as well. If two hard objects are constantly striking each other, separate them. Clothing, like a pair of socks, can provide padding without adding something that serves no other purpose. Once your bag is packed, put it on and walk somewhere quiet. Listen for anything that rattles, jingles, shifts, or slaps against the bag with every step. Secure loose straps, separate noisy items, and remove anything hanging outside the bag that doesn't need to be there. Your go bag doesn't have to make you invisible, and it doesn't have to be completely silent. It simply should not attract attention that could have otherwise been avoided. The third consideration is how well your bag handles the conditions it may be exposed to. Your go bag may be light enough to carry and inconspicuous enough to avoid unnecessary attention, but it also needs to protect the supplies you're depending on. Rain is probably the most obvious concern. A soaked change of clothes, damaged electronics, ruined fire-starting materials, wet documents, those could create additional problems when you're already dealing with an emergency. And you don't necessarily have to get caught in a downpour. Snow, mud, high humidity, or even setting your bag on the wet ground can allow moisture to work its way inside. Many backpacks are advertised as water resistant, but remember, water resistant does not equal waterproof. Rain can still enter through zippers, seams, openings, and any place where water collects on the bag. A fabric water repellent spray, such as Scotchgard, can improve the bag's resistance to light rain and snow, although it won't make your bag completely waterproof. If you use this, make sure the product is appropriate for your bag's material, and follow the manufacturer's instructions when applying it. A rain cover can provide an additional layer of protection, but I wouldn't depend on the outside of the bag alone. Consider using a waterproof backpack liner or heavy-duty plastic bag inside the main compartment. Essential items, such as medications, important documents, electronics, fire-starting supplies, and a dry change of clothes, those can all be sealed individually in waterproof pouches or Ziploc bags. That way, if one layer of protection fails, a little rain doesn't compromise everything you're carrying. And moisture isn't the only environmental concern. If your go bag is stored in a vehicle, extreme heat or cold can affect food, water containers, medications, batteries, and electronic equipment. Dust and dirt can also work their way into equipment and damage items that you may need later. When and how you store your bag matters. Inspect its contents regularly. Replace anything affected by age or temperature, and make adjustments based on the conditions you're most likely to encounter. You don't need to protect your go bag for every climate imaginable, but you should ask yourself one question. Will the gear inside this bag still work after being exposed to the conditions I may actually face? Because having the right equipment won't matter if the elements have already made them unusable. A go bag isn't meant to hold every useful piece of gear you own. It's meant to help you get from where you are to where you need to be. What you pack matters, but only if you can carry it, protect it, and depend on it when you need it. What's one important feature of a go bag you think people may often overlook? Let us know down in the comments below. And as always, stay safe out there. Consider becoming a member to gain access to exclusive channel perks such as custom badges, priority comment replies, and early access to new videos. It also directly helps support the future of this channel. Thank you. For more on this and other prepper topics, be sure to check out the website linked below. There is over a decade's worth of material and knowledge there. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching.